Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive on in and let's start off with talking about a few things. So next month is getting closer and closer every single day that passes. And it seems as though next month is going to be the beginning for a lot of major updates to the financial system, as I have been addressing in my latest videos. Now, I have found a few things and I've gotten sent a few things from some individuals within the community regarding a few of these major changes. For example, xrpnews.crypto, XRP334, actually sent me this in my DMs today. And when you see the end of 2023 will bring many big innovations for the crypto market. I actually think that the entire global financial system is witnessing a major change. And it all really kind of started this year. The infrastructure that the global financial system runs on is changing rapidly. And the changes that we've seen so far this year are outlined on this image here, right? We have SWIFT with ISO 20022. March of 2023 is when this started. Now, at the end of November, a lot of major changes are actually happening regarding the SWIFT system, which we will go over in this video as well. But then we see the European Commission, March of 2023 as well, delivering a cross-border payments pilot for the European Commission's EU Digital Identity Wallet. Then, of course, the UAE, launching an instant payment platform to facilitate financial transactions in the UAE. Japan government, April of 2023, allowing companies to pay salaries digitally through money transfer providers, not crypto. And we also do see Fed with the FedNow service. Now we know that that's still in pilot, but they're actually saying that by the end of November, this could actually be fully launched. And then of course the ECB, finalizing the design of the digital euro. Bank of Indonesia, connecting cross-border payment system with 5 other Asian countries. And then, of course, the EBA clearing with the clearinghouse and SWIFT, launching a real-time IXB cross-border payment to link between the US and Europe. Again, a lot of major changes are happening here, and we are now at the final portion of 2023, where a lot of this is really kind of accelerating now. And I think it all really kind of started with what the ECB also said just recently, where we seen November being brought up yet again after we addressed a lot of the big changes happening around ISO 20022 and the global financial system. What they said here, though, was very interesting, which I did go over in a video. And what they said was next month, we will start laying the foundation. Now, this is crucial to know for the possible issuance of a digital euro. Now, the interesting thing about this is that when they say possible, we already know that a digital euro is on its way. We also know that 93% of central banks are moving forward on with their digital currencies. A new foundation is needed. And that's what we have been seeing, especially even in the US. Like I told you guys about the FedNow service, right? FedNow is the foundation for a US CBDC. And a lot of what we already see tied to the FedNow service is a lot of DLT and crypto native projects. Now, beyond this, we also have this, which this is all of the major systems tapping in to the ISO 20022 system and also launching as well. Do you see all of the dates here? November 19th through November just in general 2023. So next month. A lot of the November 19th dates are big banks, big systems like SWIFT, the DTCC, SEPA as well. And then of course, yes, you have all of those major banks, BNY Mellon, JPM, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, HSBC, Citi, Credit Suisse, Barclays, the Eurosystem Securities. Then of course, FedNow. FedNow launches officially in November. Everything is changing. These are major systems that are transitioning to ISO 20022. This is a major change. And also, I told you guys about this. I outlined this in a video recently. SWIFT, November 2023, digital asset activation. They are activating digital assets. And we have November 19th. being the significant date for this. And we even see a few of the other screenshots here. The release is scheduled for November 2023. Also over here, the securities messages of this report now accommodate digital assets. Swift has also made changes to its foreign exchange messages in the same report. This has now added support for digital currencies and non-deliverable FX trades that do not have the ISO 4217 currency code. Now, I did include this in a recent video, but I'm bringing it up back again into this video because this is why we should be excited for November. November is when everything changes. Now, is this going to deliver immediate price action? Is it going to allow XRP to pump or anything? No. We're like, stop thinking in the realm of just price. We're talking about fundamentals. We're talking about steps needing to be taken and actually being taken now. But also, check this out. Major confirmation directly from Swift. ISO 20022 plus November 2023 standards release are allowing the usage of digital assets with MT/MX messages via APIs.
Who is coming from Swift indeed and will be making the second presentation. And of course, Swift is quite a player, right, in the ISO messaging. So Sharifa.
Thank you, Anna. So first of all, I would like to thank you for the work that you've been doing. From a Swift perspective, this is extremely important to us to hear it from the industry. It's not really our purpose nor our role to dictate things. So very welcome this perspective. What I'd like to say is, and I'm turning to the audience right now, we do have a very large community at Swift, 11,000 players, 6,000 of them active in the security space. We'd like to hear from the rest of the world as well. So please get engaged. Please share your own perspective on this ISO 1502-2022 coexistence. The second point I wanted to mention, and it's linked to the question that was raised around digital assets, tokenized assets, and DLT. It's a bit like in the standards world, right? Traditional and digital ecosystems are going to coexist. And in order for us to achieve the goal that Andrea was mentioning in terms of achieving efficiency, making things work, and services adopted, we will go through a coexistence in the digital space as well. And what we've been doing as part of the standard maintenance releases, I believe we started somewhere in 2019, 2020, is to update the MT and the MX messages to carry digital information. So that is also extremely important until we find what is the future way of communicating in a digital asset space, be it APIs, as you said, Jean-Paul, trying to stick to the ISO 20022 data model or anything else. Thank you.
So they are preparing, they are getting ready, especially around API usage with digital assets. And remember what I have said around RippleNet with XRP. Yes, that is API driven. Tapping into APIs is crucial. It allows for the simple way of adoption instead of having to rip and, really kind of repair the system, meaning they could immediately tap in. They don't need to change anything. This is very exciting. Now, also beyond that, we know that Ripple has very ambitious plans. A lot of those plans revolve around becoming a global pioneer of cross-border payments efficiencies and solutions. Now, back in August, we know that Ripple joined the BIS for the cross-border payments task force. We also know a lot of those players that were tied to it down here. Like I said, Ripple with the RTGS global system, Swift, the clearinghouse. There's a lot of major players tied to this, like even MasterCard. You also have the cross-border interbank payment system. And again, so many other great players. Now, beyond this, we got this report from October 17th, and this is the CPMI, which is the same exact group, right? With Ripple on board, this is the same exact group. We do see sets out harmonized ISO 20022 data requirements for enhancing cross-border payments. This is a very interesting one. Now, a few of the key notes here is CPMI publishes harmonized ISO 20022 data requirements, establishing a consistent minimum set of messaging data for more efficient cross-border payments. The data requirements, a key element of the G20 cross-border payments program, were developed with the Private Sector Payments Market Practice Group, the PMPG. Now, when you actually open up this group, it takes you to Swift, right? And under this, you can actually see a lot of the major members that are tied to this group. Now, the co-chairs are from Wells Fargo, right? And then, of course, we have another individual at Santander. And then down here, we have a few other ones. Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Bank of Austria, the RBC, also the DNB Bank. We also have a few other ones, JP Morgan, Barclays. There's so many massive names. Deutsche Bank as well. I mean, the list goes on here. These are significant names. And remember, this is in part with the CPMI, which Ripple is on they're on board with. But again, these two are on par with the same exact goal in mind, to make cross-border payments a lot more efficient and streamline them into the digital age. We also have market participants are encouraged to begin aligning in earnest now and by the end of 2027 at the latest. So at the latest, they want all of this in play in the next roughly 3 years. The benefits of adopting the requirements will increase as uptake widens. This is very, very interesting. And also remember, right, that the CPMI developed the data requirements for ISO 20022, a global and open messaging standard for exchanging financial information in collaboration with the private sector for use in cross-border payment transactions. The private and the public sector are collaborating. They're collaborating on facilitating the straight-through processing of end-to-end payments, making them faster and more reliable. And we actually get a quote from the Bank of England. These technical requirements will ensure that we are able to grasp the opportunities for more efficient cross-border payments afforded by richer and more structured international messaging standards. They are an excellent example of the type of practical impact the G20 program can achieve together with the industry to make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent and easier to access by 2027. Now, mind you, I want to say this. If you honestly think that crypto is not going to play a role in this, you are completely wrong. How do I know this? Because guess what? This is all being constructed by the G20. The G20 also has their hands on with the BIS, the IMF, the World Bank, and many other players around global crypto regulations. And their goal is by the end of 2025 to have that in place. And remember, this is with the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, that also had Ripple comment on those global regulatory changes back in December of 2022. They are working on this. Crypto is a key significant piece to this, in my opinion. And we even do see that the increased adoption of ISO 20022 by payment systems around the world is a major opportunity to improve their interoperability. This is going to bring about significant change. And we have one last quote here from the Governor of the Reserve Bank of Australia. Implementation of these data requirements will require coordinated effort across the global payments community, but the entire community stands to benefit in the long run from a convergence on these shared data practices. This is very, very interesting. And also, the membership behind the CPMI are all senior officials of member central banks. Look at all of these central banks. This is absolutely wild. And outside of this, right, CPMI overview. So first off, here are all the papers beyond this, right? Linking fast payment systems across borders, considerations of governance and oversight, harmonization of ISO 20022 data requirements for enhancing cross-border payments. CPMI sets out harmonized ISO 20022 data requirements for enhancing cross-border payments. Like, they're all working on this. And their center is cross-border payments, making them more efficient. We actually have here from the CPMI, which, like I said, Ripple's on board with, the mandate, right, carries out its mandate by identifying risk for the safety and efficiency of payment clearing and settlement systems and resulting risk for the global financial system, sharing experiences related to payment clearing and settlement systems, the performance of oversight functions, and the provision of central bank services in order to promote common understanding and developing policy advice or common policies for central banks, establishing and promoting global standards and recommendations for the regulation, oversight, and practices of payment clearing and settlement systems, monitoring the implementation of CPMI standards and recommendations, supporting cooperative oversight and cross-border information sharing, including crisis communication and contingency planning for cross-border crisis management, maintaining relationships with non-CPMI central banks to share experience and promote the implementation of CPMI standards and recommendations beyond member jurisdictions, cooperating with other financial sector standard setters, central bank bodies, and international financial institutions. Like this CPMI group, right? That, like I said, Ripple's a part of, is on par with what the G20 is trying to achieve with every single major player tied to it around the global financial system. They are changing the global financial system right now. And also, Over here from the harmonized ISO 2022 data requirements for enhancing cross-border payments comments. Look at the players that commented on this back in May, right? This was from March to May. Look at all of the players that really made their own comments. Now, a lot of these are major banks, as you guys do see. But beyond this, right? Look at who commented on this. Ripple and Zinfin. Stellar's not on here. There's just two players. It's Ripple and Zinfin. And if you actually open this up, you could see the comments from Ripple. You could also see the comments from Zinfin. These are the only two players that actually responded back to this. There's no Stellar. There's no other player. It's just Ripple and Zinfin. And guess what? For those that are saying, oh, it's just Ripple, it's not XRP. Ripple is also talking about, to ensure successful harmonization, it is crucial to consider alternative approaches such as DLT, which is where XRP comes into place. I want you all to understand that major change is upon us. XRP, XDC, and many other great utility tokens are going to change the world of finance. This is a big moment for crypto. And also, guess what? Last but not least, look at this absolute wild document. So we've seen it initially shared by ISO 2022. Let's do it. We do see within Ripple documentation shows JP Morgan is connected to on-demand liquidity XRP plus JP Morgan November 2023 target date plus JP Morgan is 50% of ISO 2022 CBPR traffic. Look at this. On-demand liquidity, coins payout outlets. This is from docs.ripple.com. Look at all the banks' names here. We also see JP Morgan Chase Bank. We also see 2.4 million in the first week. JP Morgan processed 2.4 million Swift ISO 2022 messages on the 4 services which went live on March 20th of this year. Also half. They accounted for half of the MX payment traffic. And then also over here, the PMPGs, which I just went over, industry guidance recommends avoiding origination of the following rich data elements for cross-border payments until at least November of this year, the target date. And then also from the ISO GOAT, he posted this. Almost every single major bank is tied to this. But wait, there's more. Look at all of the major banks that are already tied to this. This is so significant. And a lot of players from the community are really kind of sharing this, but it is insane how many banks already have exposure to Ripple. And I think that these major groups like the CPMI, for an example, or even the PMPG, which is also tied back to the CPMI, they are all significant players around this. And like I said, everything is gearing up for November to be the big moment, the target date for a lot of this to really kind of kick into motion. And I think that from that date, November, just November alone, that time on, we're only going to see this new system accelerated more and more. And like I said, ISO 2022, which is just a messaging standard for most people, in my opinion, it is a crucial piece and it's going to be an accelerant for this new system that is going to be heavily underpinned by DLT, blockchain, crypto. And it's going to be very exciting to see a lot of this go into motion. And again, we're not talking about price action. We're not talking about XRP going to $100, $1,000, $10,000. No, we're just talking about things that need to be put in place in order for XRP to be tapped in. And I think that this is what is really the beginning for that to really kind of start. So I'm very excited for this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I think that this is absolutely crazy to see a lot of these players tied to this. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.